Okay. Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Team Empower call. We're so happy to have you here. Welcome, Sarah, to your very first team call. We're super excited to have you here. So, you should have looked up announcements. That's usually Allie's gig, and I didn't look them up. So if anybody has been looking at Coach Breaking News, feel free to pop in and throw announcements. Did you say something, Katie?
No, I'm trying to mute my stupid speaker.
Dang it. So basically, let's see, what can I remember? Shaun T Week is coming soon. He's going to have a week of new new workouts that they're going to be putting on Beachbody On Demand. So that's pretty cool. The All Access Challenge Pack is $160 until the end of August, which is super cool. That's all I can think of right now. So, okay. So tonight, guys, shh. Why is it that they want nothing to do with you until you have something to do? Okay. So tonight we're going to be talking about your goals and 3 reasons why you're most likely not hitting them. The 3 things that kind of get in the way. And these can pertain to any goals. It can pertain to your fitness goals, your business goals, your family, your marriage, any type of goal that you have, it can apply to all of them. But tonight we're going to be focusing mostly on business, on building your business and on coaching. So, boys, Beckham, Kate, take it into the other room, okay? Okay, so the first thing is, when it comes to goals, first of all, you have to set them. You have to set them. And I know for me, go in January, it's always oh yeah, New Year's, let's make a goal for the year. And then come mid-January, February, March, I've kind of A, forgotten about my January goals, and B, kind of feel like I don't need to set anymore, which is ridiculous. But it's important to make sure that you set them not only just for the year, but monthly, weekly, and even daily goals if you really want to get super productive. And so it's super, super important that you achieve, or that you set them, because if you don't have something to work towards, you're never going to achieve whatever it is you've set out for. And then it's going to also feel like you're constant, it's a hamster wheel. You're constantly working, but yet never really achieving something. And so something that then goes hand in hand with that I see is a huge stumbling block, not only for, other people, but for myself. I've seen for my coaches, I've seen in my challengers, is that we don't believe in ourselves and in the goal. We don't believe that we are capable of achieving it, or we don't believe that the goal itself is, worthy of achieving, I guess. So when it comes to setting goals, it's super important to set stretched goals, but not so big and so overwhelming that you don't even know where to start. For example, if you were to say, I want to be the top coach tomorrow, well, that's not going to happen. You can't do that, 1, and 2, that's ridiculous. That's just way too big of a goal. Second of all, though, at the same time, you don't also want to set a goal where it's I'm going to talk to 1 person about a challenge pack this month, so that's so small and simple that it doesn't stretch you. And so it's finding that happy medium where you're stretched outside of your comfort zone enough, but you're not so overwhelmed that you don't even want to start. I think that, and then in connection to that, it's super important to then stay, guys, shh. I'll take care of it. I'll take care of it.
Becca! Let me in.
Okay, so it's super important to also, when the goals are there, but to then also stay focused on the goals, to not take your eye off the prize. So for example, if your goal was, I'm going to hit Success Club 5 this month, and then, the end of the month, it's the last week of the month comes and you're still not at Success Club 5, to not be oh well, maybe next month. But if that has been your goal, if that is something you've set and you believe in yourself, then you get creative. you find a way to make it happen. Because if you don't believe in yourself and achieving that goal, you've already lost. And so when it comes to setting your goal and believing in it, believing in yourself that you are capable of doing something that's hard, it's important to like keep it in the forefront of your mind, to show up every day. So if that means that you journal about it every day, if that means that you like meditate or pray about it every day, if it means that you have your goals written and are like right in your face so you see them every day, however it is that you keep it in the forefront of your mind, it's super, super important to make sure that you stay focused and that you show up every day, because it's that consistency that really is what is going to drive your goals forward. Now, the second thing that I see that goes hand in hand with believing is, it can be a hurdle to believe in yourself, but I also see far too often people are like, well, I believe it. Like, I believe that I can be this rock star coach, and I believe that I'm going to like build this team, and I believe that I'm going to be awesome, but then they like sit back and don't do anything. And so, it's the same thing with, like, you can't say, I believe that this is what God wants for me, and he's going to make it happen, but then just like wait for him to make it happen. Like that's not how the way that it works. He expects you to get up and to work as well. And so that's in connection to believing, and believing in ourselves being the first hurdle. The second one then is that we're not taking the aligned action to reach that goal. So if your goal is to hit Success Club 5, then you say, okay, so if that means I need to have 3 people purchase a challenge pack. So that means, how many people do I need to talk to this month? How many people do I need to then break it down? How many people do I need to talk to then this week? How many people do I need to talk to then today? To reverse engineer it back to the most simple action that will lead you to that goal. So if your goal is Success Club and you're spending time, scrolling Pinterest looking for, I post ideas, that's not where you need to be. If your goal is to bring coaches on and to sign coaches, but you're focused in on, creating a clean eating group, that's not where you need to be. So it's super important to set one specific goal, because if we have like 15 goals and it's like, I want to bring on 3 coaches. I want to create a new clean eating group. I want to create new training. I want to, start a blog. I want to, like, if all of those are your goals for the month or even the year, like your brain is going to be on overload and go 15 different directions and do everything halfway, if at all. So it's important to find one super specific goal and then take action. Allow your actions to align with what it is. And to also, like we were talking about before, to take action every day, to show up every day, to do one little thing connected to that goal every day. It's not waiting until Wednesday to invite somebody to a clean eating group that starts on Friday. It's doing those little tiny things that are easy to do and those things that are easy not to do every day. And so what it really comes down to is connecting our belief in ourselves and then the action and bringing them together. Now, with that being said, if you find yourself believing in your goal and wanting it and knowing how to do it, but yet not doing it, if you find yourself like super gun-ho, like I'm going to make this happen, and then like a week later it's fizzled and you aren't doing what the goal that you set, a lot of times it's not necessarily your desire or your drive. A lot of times it's like a mental block. Let's see, I wrote it down. If you're getting distracted and you're not, there's resistance coming from somewhere else. If you're not doing it, it's a mindset perspective that's getting in the way. I heard somebody say that it's never about what it's about. So, for example, for so long I was like, okay, I want to bring on coaches. Like I want to have a team that's like a productive team, but I also don't want to like be pushy. And so I would like invite people to the coaching opportunity and then just kind of like sit back, because I felt like if I talked about it and I like shared about it, that I would be like pushy, or that I would be looked at as not being genuine. And so I didn't do it. with the excuse or the reason of, I don't want to be pushy or I don't want to come across wrong. When in reality, deep down inside, I was just afraid. Like I was afraid to fail and I was afraid to look ridiculous and I was afraid that I would fall flat on my face. And so the whole time I was focusing on, what other people would think, when in reality, it was my mind perspective. It was myself that was standing in the way, not allowing me to progress. So if you find yourself getting distracted or fizzling out, or you're finding this like resistance connected to what you're wanting to do, remember, it's more of a mindset perspective. It's not about what it's about. Like we try to connect outside reasons to inside hurdles. And so it's important that we work through those, because that is what's going to stand in our way. Once we believe in the goal, we're taking aligned action. But if we then have something deeper down inside that we need to work through, that's standing in the way, that's what's going to hold us back. And so that's what I encourage you, is to really ask yourself, like, what is this really about? What is this resistance really about? Is it that I'm afraid to fail? Is it that I'm afraid to succeed? Is it that I am, whatever it is, ask yourself, what is this really about? And it's probably not going to be like an easy off the top of your head answer. It's probably going to take time to really like process and deconstruct it. I know for myself, like I have set the goal to be diamond like 15,000 million times and have stood in my way like for so many times. And I'm starting to process and realize that a lot of times I get afraid. I become afraid that it's going to get too busy, that it's going to be too much, that I'm not going to have all my ducks in a row. And so it's me standing in my way rather than the goal standing in my way. So that was just a little tangent, a little side note. Okay, so first is believe in yourself and the goal. Second is take aligned action. And if we're not doing those, that's keeping us from achieving our goals. And the third hurdle that I've seen time and time again in myself and others in standing in our way of reaching our goals is we need to stop trying to figure everything out ourselves. I can't tell you how many stinking Google searches that I've done about like how to run ads and about how to use social media and how to use hashtags. And like, I keep trying to figure out all of this myself. And that's what I see other people trying to do, trying to figure it out all themselves. I mean, how many challengers do we have that say, oh, I'll just keep doing the free workouts on Pinterest and finding the meal plans on Pinterest, and I'll just kind of like figure it out myself. And then like 6 months later, they come back and they're like, yeah, I couldn't figure it out. And so they've wasted all of that time and gained even more frustration than if they just would have come to you and said, okay, like, I don't know what to do. Like I do, but I don't. I need your help. And that's the same with our coaching business. We don't have to figure out it all on our own. Focus on what you know how to do and do that well. And then the rest of it, ask for help. So if you don't know how to like run ads, then find training that will teach you how to run ads. If you don't know how to be a leader, then find some books to teach you how to be a leader. If you don't know how to run a group effectively, then reach out to your coach and ask for help. It doesn't mean that you need to do everything on your own. Reach out to those people that know how to do it, that are the experts in that area, and do it. Invest in yourself. Because I know for me, like I've spent so much time like afraid to invest in myself, and also like, oh, thinking when I make X amount of dollars, then I'll invest in myself. Then I'll like invest in this program, or then I'll, hire somebody to help me send emails, or then I'll whatever. And that time never comes, and you just get more frustrated and more burned out. And so if you know up front that there's something you don't know how to do, but there's something, an opportunity to receive that training, do it. Invest in yourself because you're worth it. I mean, it's like with our challengers, they have to invest in a challenge pack in order to be invested in the program. And that's the same thing with your business. Like you have to invest in yourself. I'm not saying like thousands and thousands of dollars, but don't feel like you need to know how to do it all yourself. So whether that's investing in going to Summit, or that's investing in this social team builder, or investing in some other training. I recently have been watching Sarah Dan. She does a lot of different trainings with helping to break out of the box. So find somebody that you resonate with and go with it. Don't be afraid. Don't wait for another day to invest in your business. So anyway, those are like the things that I wanted to talk about, because so many times we either A, don't set goals and then are frustrated when things aren't happening, or B, set goals and then somehow stand in our own way, whether it's because we don't believe in ourselves or we're not taking aligned action and showing up every day, or that we're trying to figure it all out on our own at the same time. Don't stand in your way, because you're going to burn yourself out like that. So I think you guys are amazing, and you all have such unique things to offer that I know Allie and I want more than anything for you guys to be able to achieve your goals. And I know for myself, I've seen so many times that like I set the goal or I get the answer that I'm praying for, that I'm working towards. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And then like 5 days goes by and I'm like, what was I going to do again? Like totally forget. And so don't take the time trying to find the answers and then not take the action, because that's just silly. Then you're just going to have to start square one again and find the answer. And then, so that is my challenge for you guys, is to really sit down, write out your goals, create a plan, or create some sort of action surrounding one of them. Just focus on just one and then run with it. And I would suggest sharing it in Team Empower, sharing what you've learned, sharing what you're doing, just kind of the same type of thing that we do in our challenge groups with creating some accountability. Coog, it's okay, bud. Don't ever get a dog. Like, just don't do it. Okay, so that is what I wanted to talk about tonight. Do you guys have any thoughts? Do you have like anything that you've learned about setting or reaching / not reaching your goals? Anything that you're finding in your business that is standing in your way, is frustrating, is exciting? Like, where are you guys at this week? How are you feeling about where you're at? Erin, I can see you're in deep thought. Or you're frozen. There. Okay, yeah, I see you now. Go.
I struggle with this a whole lot, because I'm one of those people that I'm really good at setting the goals. I have the vision board. I have half this notebook's probably sheets full of goals that I've made, and I'm trying to figure out how best to keep it in front of my face, because I don't go back every day and then find that sheet, and look at it. So I should use my phone more, probably have stuff like pop up. But our calls, Lacey, I think are really helpful for me. I think I need that layer of, in some of our PD, they've talked about an accountability partner for your goals. Not like we do, and in our challenge groups, actually, all of them really love when we pair them even within the challenge group to people they don't know as a one-on-one accountability partner. They really like that. And I think maybe that's something that will help me. Now, I didn't hit my goals that Lacey and I talked about last week, but like I have more remorse. I have more fire from letting you down in that way than looking at my vision board or remembering the thing I wrote 2 weeks ago. So I think that would be very helpful. And I think like what you said is I have to drill down and be focused, because my goals are like the whole world. Like world peace, like the beauty person that's like world peace. I want all of it. And so then there's no way I'll achieve it. So maybe if I can break it down to weekly or monthly, but get real specific, and then like you said, just work on that. And then that I think would help with goals of like family work balance at home too, because if I'm not, you're just like with forming and signing, I can get specific. I can get methods that are pretty, it doesn't have to take all day then. So I like that simplifying thought too. So
I love that.
that's where I'm at, I think.
I love that. Yeah, I definitely think that what was I going to say? Yeah, finding an accountability partner, like, because, you know, we do talk a lot in Team Empower and everything that it's like failure isn't fatal, you know, like there's going to be times you don't reach those goals, and that's totally fine. Like, that's okay. It's one step closer to success. Like, you've learned a lot of things. But like you were saying, like when you're accountable to somebody and you don't reach those goals, it just kind of like gives you more fire to say, okay, yeah, like I'm going to step up my game and now I know what I'm going to do, rather than just like, you know, like I'll try again later, you know, no big deal, because then we've kind of lost. We haven't found that fire. Holy cow. Come here, Coog. Here. Take it. Whatever. Take it. So anyway, yes, I totally love what you had to say and completely 100% agree. And just like narrowing down and the simplifying and getting it in front of your face. I know even for like my schedule, like if I just write it in my planner and close it and put it away, like I never think about it again. And then you open it up and you're like, oh crap, you know? So whether it's like a wallpaper on your phone or a paper on your board or whatever it may be, drill it down. One super simple, stretched goal. Focus on that little bits at a time every day, and then it just kind of is like that domino effect that then rolls into everything else, instead of having these big lofty goals in every area of our life, because then we feel like failures because we're going to fail somewhere, you know? So one goal, simple, believe in it, believe in you, and then that simple action every day. And that's what's going to drive you forward for sure. So I love that, Erin. Good job. Sarah, I know that you're busy and driving. Is there any questions that you wanted to ask? Anything that you wanted to add?
No questions, but my goals are to not freak out. That's my goal at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And the more I think about it, the more I want to freak out. So that's kind of where I'm at with that.
Totally. Like, I think that right there is the best goal that you can have, is like in your beginning days, because it's overwhelming. Like, there's so much thrown at you. There's so much to wrap your brain around. I mean, we've all been through that where we're like, what in the world have I gotten myself into? Like, I tap out, you know? So I think just like taking a deep breath and saying, I'm not going to freak out. Like, I'm not going to, like, I'm going to be okay. That's huge. And you're going to have a few times where you're like, I'm out, you know? So, and that's totally normal too. So I think that is spot on. You need to be just giving yourself permission to be overwhelmed. And so good for you.
Does anybody want a 2-year-old? She's free.
I'll take the 2-year-old. You take my puppy.
Deal. Because I'll put your puppy outside.
I love it. I'll put your 2-year-old in the room with my 4-year-old and just like close the door.
Yep, exactly. She's become all sorts of crazy the last 2 days.
Oh, I love it.
Stop
All
it.
right, well, I won't keep you guys any longer. Thank you so much for coming. It was so good to talk to you guys. So go ahead, find your goal, share with Team Empower to kind of add that accountability, and we'll keep plugging along. So you guys are awesome. Have a fantastic Thursday. Yeah, Erin.
I think I just wrote that down too, because I don't know if you remember, I mean, like way back in the day when I started, we were sharing more in Team Empower about our, like, I talked to 2 people today. I mean, like when we were brand new, we were all just kind of applauding each other for those whatever little things. I don't remember exactly the context of how and why and what we were sharing, but I thought that was good. And I think it would be helpful for all of us, and I'm about to introduce 2 new coaches into the group too, for it just to be more active, and I think we'll all be positive and applaud each other. So I mean, that is momentum. But then, like you said, it is a layer. That is our accountability group for coaching. So I should share more in there of what I'm doing, even if it's like, still, I talked to 3 people today, you know, I should share that in there. We should all try to do that more.
Totally. I think that's a great idea for sure. Do you think that sharing the bat is good, or do you feel like that's overwhelming?
You know, I love the bat. I like doing that. I love when you had the competition about it and I got like stuff from you. I think some people don't love that it is overwhelming to some.
Right.
I like that structure. That's my emerald part of me, I guess. But that I really felt accomplished because I could be like, I checked them all, or even the majority, and it was like
Done. Yeah.
Sorry, my husband just got out of the shower. But I don't know. I wish we could go back that far in the group, and I felt like we were just, I don't know what we were sharing, but I felt like even if it was for a 1 or 2 week time period where we just said everyone post and tag your accountability partner for who they talk to. Maybe I'm making this up, but we did something. I wouldn't mind the bat. I feel like some might just because of their personalities might not jive with it, but mine does, so I like that.
Okay. I'll keep thinking on that because I think that's a great idea to kind of just, first of all, drum up some more participation, and second of all, just to kind of create that momentum going into summer and keeping motivated. So yeah, I'll keep thinking on that. We'll definitely put something together.
And I mean, for my own account, like you said, we should each put in what maybe goal I'm going to focus on for the rest of May or something.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what I could be posting might be applicable to my goal, not necessarily the same thing that you would post in.
Right.
If my goal is a number of people per day, I can just say I hit it or I didn't hit it. But if someone else's goal is to do their training, which that's also one of mine, I guess, but then they can post that. So we might be posting different things, but I mean, you know, like it's such a great group. I think we could say like, I had a banana today and but I think that gives us momentum, and I think it would just drum up. So yeah, think on that. I might just start posting randomly in there, I guess, because I have been really quiet. So
no, yeah, totally do it. We could even just do it the way that Kelly did in the grad group in April, how she just said, just pick your goal, whatever it is you want it to be that you're focusing on this month, and just share it, like just post about it. So
yeah, totally.
So, okay, cool. I love that idea. Thank you for sharing that. So, okay, cool. All right, you guys have a fantastic night, and nobody's allowed to get sick for the next week.
Thanks.
Stay healthy. And Katie, you need to get feeling better too. So, all right, you guys have a good night, and we'll talk to you later.